Good evening, everyone. We're going to call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Cagle? Commissioner Heisler?
Here.
Commissioner Hickey? Here. Commissioner Jacobson?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Neesensen?
Here.
Commissioner Tizinga?
Here. Next is the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Matters from the public. Debbie Gallagher.
Hi, good evening. I would like to respectfully ask the board whether the message included in the Popular Financial Annual Report was reviewed and approved by the board, or whether it reflects the collective of the board. At this point in Park District Policy 4.2, functions of the board. In the discharge of their duties, commissioners act as a board and not as individuals. The individual commissioner has no more authority over park and recreation policies or personnel than any other citizen. He has no legal or moral right to speak to the board unless specifically authorized to do so by action of the board. I believe it is important that any message presented as coming from the board clearly represents the unified voice of the board as a whole. Several community members, including myself, had concerns about the tone of the message. In response to it, resident Mike Eckel submitted a letter to the editor of the Northwest Herald offering his perspective. In his letter, he noted that the report highlights a park district that continues to move forward. He wrote, quote, "This year's report is no exception, presenting a park district that's moving onward and upward." But in his introduction to the document, President Frederick Tizinga whines about how 5 park board members and local residents are responsible for tax increase. A vote by elected officials and the participation of citizens? What nerve, unquote. The same park district policy also states, quote, "Board members should abide by the majority vote and support the actions of the executive director when those actions have received the support of the board via official voting." This reinforces the importance of respecting majority decisions and presenting a united front once the votes have been taken. I'd also like to express my appreciation for the essential services funded through our taxes. Unlike 1,000 years ago, today we all benefit from taxes paid by receiving excellent schools, beautiful parks and amenities, police and fire protection, well-maintained streets, libraries, and conservation areas. These services improve our quality of life and strengthen property values. This local resident is grateful. In closing, I ask again, does the message in the report reflect the collective voice of this board? If not, I encourage thoughtful consideration on future communications and urge the board to follow its policy manual. Thank you very much.
Susan Platek. Susan Platek.
Can you hear me? Okay. Ready? Hi, my name is Susan Platek. I've been a resident of Crystal Lake for over 40 years. Mayor Haig recently posted on Facebook addressing what had happened at the last park board meeting, and I would like to share with his words. And he wrote, I've been thinking a lot after viewing the January Park Board meeting video. Just to preface my thoughts, I've been in some form of public service in the community for the past 30 years. I do it only for one reason, and that is to give back. Crystal Lake has a great city council that is respectful of each other and our residents. And though we don't always agree, and we shouldn't, we all share one common mantra: what is best for our community. We have no special personal agenda or ulterior motives. That would be disrespectful to the oath we took, as well as our own reputation. Once you've had a bad reputation, it's darn near impossible to regain one's respect. The takeaway is this: we have a great, solid core in this community. There are a lot of very generous and philanthropic folks that get the job done under the radar, without fanfare, and for the good of all. End quote. He goes on to talk about community members such as Paul and Marilyn Georgie, who volunteered tirelessly at the Crystal Lake Food Pantry, and how many others have given back. Next, he wrote, and quote, "It reminds me of a JFK quote: ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." Which leads me to the viewing of January Park Board stream. To say I was dismayed and infuriated on the treatment of the public by the Block of Four is an understatement. The public are your clients. You were elected to serve all the citizens you represent. Judging from what I viewed, you are doing quite the opposite, using the public to serve your own interests. Whether cutting off mics in mid-sentence, ditching DEIs, disrespecting fellow board members, cutting weeds on your own properties, squandering public funds on obscene legal rates, having medical detectors unnecessary, and law enforcement when not needed, and cheating on your own property taxes. That's cheating on the very entity you represent and all the taxing bodies in your district. And 3 years is not an oversight. This just proves ineptitude and failure to truly embrace your roles as leaders, which from my viewpoint, you are anything but. Your reputations and respect have been ruined by your own actions. Sadly, how all this will be remembered in the community. But that's by your conscious choice. And by the way, you are not the victim. We are. Not only have your actions alienated the electorate, they have instilled doubt, fears, insecurity in the Park District staff and those many that are employed by the Park District. Enough of this childish behavior. Shame on you. It's truly depressing, infuriating, and should be unnecessary to spend time on addressing that adolescent behavior. These are the words of the mayor of Crystal Lake. Thank you.
Brad Fennessy. Brad Fennessy.
Good evening, Commissioners. President Tasinga, in December, I listened as a concerned citizen when you told the people in this room that our job is to watch and not disrupt. In January, you lectured us that as a professor, you often have to repeat things 7 times for them to sink in. Should I repeat this 7 times so you understand? The friction in this room doesn't come from the vocal residents here every month. It comes from a leadership style that treats accountability as a threat. We see it in the annual financial report, where you used a public document to compare yourself to William the Conqueror and the taxpayers of Crystal Lake to 11th century serfs. In your medieval analogy, the king owes the resources while the people hide their chickens and goats. But in 2026, the citizens are the owners of this park district. Every acre of our parks and every gallon of water in that lake belongs to the public, not the crown. I have to ask the rest of this board, do you really stand behind Fred's most recent message to the public? Do you agree that the people who entrust you with their tax dollars are serfs who should stay silent and watch while their assets are managed by a self-appointed conqueror? Because while Fred is playing historian, you're allowing him to make very modern power moves. We saw it with the unvetted hiring of Eric Anderson and Fred's need for added security. And now, word has spread through the community about a conversation Fred had at a Super Bowl party last week. Reports have reached the community that he was about, how do I say this? The community overheard that he was looking for the next executive director, stating his intent is to hire someone who is powerless to stop his agenda. Jason Herbster is retiring in 1 month after 16 years of professional stewardship to this park district as executive director. To replace him with a powerless puppet isn't leadership, it's a continued hostile takeover. This board has a choice. You can be the watchers who let one man turn our park district into a private fiefdom, or you can provide the oversight we elected you for. We don't want a king, and we don't want a powerless placeholder either. We want a transparent public search for a director with a backbone, someone who answers to the board as a whole, not to the person at the head of the table. Look up President
Thank you.
Zizinga.
Your time is up.
The vocal
The next
residents you
person
complain
is
about
Bruce
are watching
Mazursky.
your search.
Your time is up. You'll have to sit down now.
We aren't just watching here in this room. We are ensuring that the state of Illinois is watching too. Our message will continue to repeat itself.
You're going to have to sit down. Your time is
What
up.
we're throwing down.
We hear you.
Get off your phone and pay attention to what people are saying. How about that, President Zizinga?
You're out of order, and you will speak when it's your time to speak. if
You're
you
out
have
of
to.
order. He's a very rude man, please. I will be extremely brief tonight to your benefit. I have approximately 34 more meetings to attend, which I'm sure will supply an ample amount of material for speaking. You all need to start understanding that you work for all these folks behind me, in addition to about 40,000 other people. I would caution you to not be so disrespectful and to allow us our First Amendment rights to speak freely along with peaceful assembly. To date, you have attempted to control what we say. The Supreme Court has ruled that the First Amendment does not protect certain types of speech, which includes obscenities, libel, slander, fraud, incitement, and true threats, none of which have occurred at any of these meetings. You have also failed to comprehend that your legal counsel does not represent any of you as individuals. Legal counsel represents the citizens of Crystal Lake. The board needs to turn around and work for the citizens, or we will slowly terminate each of you when your term expires. We will work with you to continue to ensure that Crystal Lake meets the standards of excellence that we all have to come to expect, and we really would appreciate if you would look up from your phone when we're speaking and not be as rude as you really look.
Carolyn Schofield.
Good evening. I have a few things I'm hoping that you can clarify for me. President Zizinga, you have indicated that because you are the president, you do not vote unless in the event of a tie. While Robert's Rules of Order does state that a chairman only votes in the case of a tie, I would question if that applies in this case. First and foremost, you are an elected commissioner. The public votes you in as a commissioner and not as president. Local government bodies only utilize this rule when the chairman is an at-large elected official, specifically elected to lead the meetings. You are nominated by your peers for the position of president and not the electorate. The electorate has a right to know your vote. I'm also confused as you tend to selectively use this rule, almost as a matter of convenience. You have taken numerous votes when you were not needed to break a tie. In fact, you highlighted one of those votes in the Park District's annual report, emphasizing that the vote was 5-2, of which you were one of the 2 no votes. So which is it? I was also confused at the January meeting As the Park District General Practices Manual, policy number 5.17, public input states, any person who engages in threatening, slanderous, or disorderly behavior when addressing the board, or who speaks out of term or otherwise disrupts the board meeting, shall be deemed out of order by the president. When Googled, the definition of threatening is having a hostile or deliberately frightening quality or manner. Slanderous is defined as false and malicious. Disorderly means involving or contributing to a breakdown of peaceful and law-abiding behavior. How is that reading your own words or citing your own actions violates this policy? I'm not understanding how the public speaker's comments were in violation of the stated policy. Finally, I would like to remind you that these are not your meetings, as you have stated on numerous occasions. These are meetings of a public body. While you were nominated to conduct the meetings, these are meetings of the public. The meetings have existed long before you and will continue long after you leave this board. These meetings occur whether you are sitting in that chair or someone else is. This is not your meeting. Thank you.
KL Daly, KL Daly.
Gail Daly, Crystal Lake. I'll only say this once. The Crystal Lake Park District Manual states, Section 5.17, anyone who is threatening, slanderous, or disorderly may be removed from the meeting. It does not say that the board president can turn off the microphone when he wishes. During that meeting, the people who were asked to be removed from the room were not threatening, they weren't saying anything slanderous, nor were they being disorderly. At the January 19th meeting, there was only one person who was condescending and disorderly, the park president board.
Tom Burney.
Hey, Fred, before you give us your gems on how your style of instructing is, I'd like you to use the president's report for a couple of purposes. One, I'd like you to acknowledge, Fred, I'm looking at you, Fred. I'd like you to acknowledge your receipt of a letter from the treasurer's office of McHenry County indicating that you have cheated the taxpayers of over $1,800 by falsely claiming homestead exemptions on your home in Oak Brook Terrace and your vacation home here in Crystal Lake. I'd like you to acknowledge that in your president's report, Fred. And I'd also like you to tell the public, when are you gonna pay it back? Second of all, Fred, in your president's report, I'd like you to apologize to Michelle Timios, to Mr. Mazurkowitz, and to the other gentleman who you cut off. This isn't a matter of rudeness. Members of the board, we are on really thin ice here with what Fred is doing. We are talking about abridgment of First Amendment rights. We are talking about 1983 actions. And even Mr. Anderson can tell you the consequences of a 1983 action. Damages, attorney's fees. You cannot. The law is plentiful, and I can cite it for you if you give me a little more time, how you cannot cut people off. You cannot threaten them to have them removed. I have you, in the few minutes I have left, ask you to look at the case of Vergara versus the city of Waukegan. And there that case held that this kind of a forum is a very protected forum, and you cannot cut people off. It takes strict scrutiny to find that you can cut people off or tell them to get out. In that case, the executive director, or the presiding officer, was found guilty of 1983 actions. The city of Waukegan was found guilty of 1983 actions in violating First Amendment rights. The other members of the board who sat idly by, like Mr. Anderson did the other day, you know, Mr. Hickey, you had a chance to say, oh, I don't have any problem with Mr. Mr. Anderson. What was he doing when Fred was cutting people off and telling him to go out? Why did he not speak up? Why did he not say, Fred, you're violating these people's First Amendment rights. You are subjecting this board and each of the members of this board to 1983 actions. Why didn't he do it? I'd say he didn't do it probably because he doesn't know. He is not competent in this area of the law. So, gentlemen, ladies, this is serious business. You cannot subject our park district to 1983 actions
Mr. Bernie,
because
your
of
time is
the
up.
unlawful actions
Thank you
of
for your
that
comments.
man. And I just want to also let you know that I reported this incident. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Come on, make my day. I just want you to know I've reported this incident to your Risk Management Association. I've asked them to look into it.
Thank you very much for your comments. Your time is up.
You are very welcome, Mr. Senga.
Mark Sparber is next.
My name is Mark Sparber. I live at 882 Coventry Lane. I've been a proud vocal resident of the Crystal Lake since October of 1990. My house backs up to Knack Park, where I enjoy passive recreation every morning when I look out my back window past my bird feeders and into the park. I want to address Fred's message to the public in the annual financial report. Thank you for the beautiful breakdown of the 6.297 tax increase for the next fiscal year. What I disagree with is your statement about the $6.2 million in unassigned funds. One of the responsibilities of being a park commissioner is being a proper steward of the park district and being financially responsible and always looking to the future of the park district. This money in reserves serves as that purpose. It is not unassigned. It has specific allotted destinations. In my research, I have found different categories where the money has been placed. The corporate fund has a 30% reserve. The recreation fund has 25% reserves. The museum fund, the golf fund, and the racquet club have 20% reserves. And the IMRF, which is the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund, has 10% reserves in it. This is done because just as we all have accounts ourselves, we put extra money in case of emergencies. The Park District has put money aside for these types of emergencies. An example, very quickly, is what happened here during COVID. I hope all of you, as being good stewards, will not follow the example of the McHenry County Board, which has not funded the county properly the past 3 years, causing a $3.5 million shortfall that cannot be fixed by cutting services alone. One final quick note. I want to thank Executive Director Jason Herbster for your great public service here at the Crystal Lake Park District. You make us all residents proud of our park district, and thank you for having the foresight to keep looking to the future by keeping the park district financially responsible. I hope you enjoy your long, happy, and well-deserved retirement. Thank you.
Next is Tad Waters, or is that right?
Tad Walters. Boy, I came here on another subject, and I'm looking around listening. First of all, Mr. Heisler, Jason, how are you? Good to see you. Nice to see. I don't know the rest of a lot of the people, but I appreciate you being on the board and so forth. What I do appreciate, having been in corporate life and owning a number of different companies, when people are speaking, it would be nice, like I see you guys doing it, that you listen and pay attention. That's all I ask on that. Why I'm here is that my property abuts Butternut Preserve. I would ask, has anybody been out there lately? Any of the board members, Fred? Anybody been out to Butternut Preserve off Ballard and looked at that beautiful area? Isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shame that you haven't? You know, I advise you to get out, because your people do good work there. You know, once a year they burn parts of it. And they were just out there, I think, in the last month or two, and they cut some of the weeding and all that type of stuff, did a great job. But what I'm here today is to say, I would like you to go out there and take a look at the water which comes down my property and then feeds through that area across the road into the river there. So there's a lot of wood, a lot of trees and stuff like that that's impeding that area in the lake area that's there, coming down from where the water flows. I would ask that you maybe check with your people that are doing that and say, you know what, we've done a great job on clearing it except for what's in the water. And there's large trees and everything else that I think is impeding that. So why I'm here is just for that, and ask you, maybe take a look at it, and maybe if you haven't been over there, take a walk. It's a beautiful 12 acres. It goes up and it butts and it's beautiful. So take a look, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Okay, there's no unfinished business. Moving on to the consent agenda. Approval of the voucher expense for the month ending January 31, 2026 in the amount of $491,381. Approval of the interim voucher expenses for the month ending February 28, 2026 in the amount of $30,345.56. Accept the treasurer's report for the month ending January 31, 2026 in the amount of $14,169,796.55. Approval of the regular meeting minutes, January 19, 2026, and approval of the Chicago area orienteering request. Is there a motion to approve?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Heisler?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickey?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobson?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neesensen?
Yes.
Commissioner Tazinga?
Present. Items removed from the consent agenda, there are none. Agenda items, number 1, Hill Farm Barn lien to bid acceptance.
So this is, the barn has been an ongoing project for the district as far as determining what we're going to do with it. Regardless of what we decide to do, the lean-tos do need to come down, whether we keep the barn or eventually take it down. So staff has gone out to bid to get pricing on doing that work, and that's what's in front of you tonight for approval.
Okay, any discussion? Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll make a second to that motion.
Okay.
Roll call.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Hickey?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobson?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neesensen?
Yes.
Commissioner Heisler?
Yes.
Commissioner Tazinga?
Present. Wood Creek project bid acceptance.
So this is for Wood Creek Court and Shelter Rehabilitation Project. The tennis court, basketball court, and shelter will be removed and replaced, along with some landscape work out there. And this project is in this year's budget. Some additional funds will be needed in next year's budget to round out the cost to get the work done, but we want to engage the contractor now and get them started as soon as the weather breaks to get the project going. So a long overdue project for us.
Okay, any discussion? Is there a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Is there a second?
I second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Jacobson?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neesensen?
Yes.
Commissioner Heisler?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickey?
Yes.
Commissioner Tazinga?
Present. Okay, stump grinder purchase. That sounds exciting.
And it is what it says.
Is there any discussion about that?
Is this a replacement or new to the assets? New?
Were we outsourcing stump grinding prior to this?
We were probably renting it or outsourcing, both.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I would make a motion to approve the purchase.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Johnson?
I approve.
Commissioner Neesensen?
Yes.
Commissioner Heisler?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickey?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobson?
Yes.
Commissioner Tazinga?
Present. Okay, reports to the board.
Yeah, so the
one of the commenters mentioned 48 USC 1983. The reference there was it's a federal statute where if a public body has been deemed to violate your civil rights, you can file a private action. And so first firm I worked for, I think we filed so many against one municipality that they hired us as their counsel. But anyway, I did think about that in case you all are wondering about that. Ms. Timios filed a request for review with the AG's office, and the response was due today. We responded. For the most part, we just gave the videos, right? And we'll wait for the AG to say whether it was proper to cut her off to preserve order and decorum. So we'll let you know when that answer comes back.
Any other reports to the board?
I've got a few things to share with the board. March 16th, board meeting, we need to either move it to city council chambers if they'll allow us to have our meeting there, or move the meeting to the 18th or 19th. The 17th is an election, and Main Beach is a major polling place. I think there's 5 or 6 precincts that report here, and we won't be able to hold the meeting here that Monday night because they come in around 3 or 4 o'clock to set up the polling place. To ask for that to change would not work.
So on that, Jason, I would say we just move it back to the old location for one meeting. We don't have to disrupt the schedule.
Okay, we can do that as long as we risk the chance of not having space to. This turnout would
Yeah,
work.
we would fit.
So we want to try that going back to.
Any other discussion about it? Okay, I think that's, yeah.
I'm not in favor of moving it to city council. There's no reason to bring it to another location. If we move it to the Wednesday, I think that's fine. And that does give us the opportunity if people are there'll be more people than the admin building can fit.
Yeah, I think I would like to keep it here if we can. Not that day, obviously, or something, because the administration building, yeah, we might not have space for the public.
You want to just move it to the Monday before or the Monday after?
No, I'm out of town the Monday before.
I'm open to what the board wants to do.
Rich, did you suggest a Wednesday?
I just said the Wednesday, the 18th, which was, I think, listed as an option.
I would be okay with that.
I could do the 18th.
I'm free, whatever the board decides.
I just have to check and see if I'm out of town or not.
So let me know as soon as.
Yeah, okay.
So at this point, it's the 18th. Pending schedule.
And that will work here, the 18th.
Thanks. All right, so I'll send something out as soon as Fred gets back to me on that. Just a reminder, our budget meeting will be March 2nd, which is a Monday here at Main Beach. Budget binders will be delivered either this Friday or next Monday to the board. If there's anything you'd like to review once you get that, there's a lot in there. So once you get a chance to look through it, if you want to sit down with staff to look through some things or discuss some things or try to understand some things better, please feel free to give me a call and we can set up a time to get together. Tina did email out on Friday what we call a cheat sheet on how to look at the budget. It kind of explains in detail what each column means, what each line means. It's not an easy thing to wrap your mind around unless you look at it on a regular basis. So we found if we hand that out, sometimes it's helpful. So just a reminder on that. March 2nd here at Main Beach for our budget meeting. And that's all I've got. Tina, anything extra?
Nope, that was it.
Kurt?
Nothing tonight.
Jenny?
Nothing.
Eric? Amy?
Nothing to add, thank you.
Okay, any matters from the board?
I do have a question for Eric for the maintenance facility. Can you update us on kind of work has been performed maybe during the winter by your group, or if any? No.
Last time we were out there,
Mhm.
we are meeting with our next on, 24th, for our first kind of kickoff meeting.
Thanks.
I would like to speak if I could.
Go ahead.
I've prepared some comments that I'd like, especially the public, to hear, but also everyone else in this room. I'd like to take this opportunity to express my deep disappointment of where this board is currently at and the direction that it has taken. I've been living in Crystal Lake for most of my life, beginning in 1965. I've been proud to call the city of Crystal Lake my hometown for nearly my entire life. This is the reason why I decided to become a serving member on this board and represent the community that has been here for my family, my friends, and many of my working colleagues for at least the last 60 years. When I was sworn in to take my seat on this board, I was determined to represent my community with integrity and with honesty, and it is what my heart tells me to do. I realize that my role on this board is to serve the people that I represent, and that I must address their interests fairly, responsibly, and with diplomatic resolve. It is in my nature to consider any decision that's made by me to be in the best interests of the majority of my community, but also to make sure that my decisions are ethical and something I'm willing to stake my reputation on. I have no hidden agenda other than fairness and allowing our park district to continue to be a great government body that has existed since 1921. My duty is to make decisions that allow the employees of the park district to thrive in a good and productive working environment. I am determined that the taxpayers get a good bang for the buck, but I'm also aware that to provide a quality product at times takes and requires enough allocation in the budget to make sure that the services that we provide are accessible to all of our citizens so they can feel safe and welcome in our parks no matter who they are and where they live. With that being said, I want to strongly express the idea that we should all be able to look ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves whether the collective actions of this board meet the high level of standards that our community deserves and asks for. At this time, it is my opinion that what our community is getting out of our decisions as a board is not at the level of what they expect from us. And it's been very clear based on the level of discontent that is brought to our attention at the meetings during public commentary. In my opinion, we have fallen short, and I'm willing to take my share of responsibility for the actions that I have taken and voted on, but the question is, how about the rest of us? Another major disappointment for me has been the deterioration of the climate and the morale of our staff. It has become completely clear to me that when we have our reports to the board in our meetings, our staff has been visibly reluctant to share what's going on in their respective departments, and the information that we normally get from them is valuable because it helps us to be more fully informed so that we can make sound decisions. I know this because I've been witnessing these types of interactions from our staff in our meetings previously, and now it seems to be muted, and it lacks an organic element that comes out of reports from our excellent employees that are proud to represent our park district and that they are happy to work for. At this time, I'm going to recommend that one of the things that we can do as a board is to be trained to become more informed on the following areas of responsibility that we take on as serving members of our board so that we can have less negative interactions with the public as they witness the business that we conduct in our meetings. We need to be better informed about FOIA requests, Robert's Rules, Open Meetings Act, and the roles and limitations of our positions on the board. It appears that many of the tensions that have arisen during our meetings are a direct result of the misunderstandings about what all of these specific elements are and how they could be interpreted to allow us to guide the board in a proper direction, a direction that our constituents can approve of. We can do better, and the citizens deserve much more from us than they have been observing since the inauguration of our new board members. It is up to us how we decide to move forward. We have the opportunity to evolve and finally transform our actions into ones that are thoughtful, transparent, insightful, and ones that reflect integrity and love for the Crystal Lake Park District. It is up to us as a board how we can collectively serve our community in the most diplomatic way possible. And in the end, that just remains to be seen. We can do better.
Any other comments from the board? Okay, on that note, this meeting's adjourned.
No, we need executive session.
Right, but we adjourned this meeting to go into it.
We have to call.
Right, but we're adjourning the meeting. So should
We still got to go.
okay, so is there a motion to move into executive session?
I make a motion to move to executive session.
It's
For
for,
a second.
so it'll be for 2C personnel, 2C5 land acquisition lease, and 2C21 review of, semi-annual review of closed session minutes.
Roll call?
Yes.
Roll call.
Commissioner Hickey?
Yes.
Commissioner Heisler?
Yes.
We're voting to go into closed session.
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobson?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neesenson?
Yes.
Commissioner Tazinga?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
What's that? Thank you.
Okay, the meeting is back in session. Is there a motion to vote on the actions in the executive session?
So we'll need a motion to approve Resolution 252604, semi-annual review and release of closed session minutes.
Is there a motion?
I motion to approve.
Second?
I'll make a second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Heisler?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickey?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobson?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Neesenson?
Yes.
Commissioner Tazinga?
Yes. Next is the motion for Director Executive Search.
So a motion to approve the hiring of MGT in an amount not to exceed $26,000.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Hickey?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobson?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neesenson?
Yes.
Commissioner Heisler?
Yes.
Commissioner Tazinga?
Present. Okay, we're adjourned.